Imagine this scenario. It's 3 a.m. You're coming back from a big night out in the city where you've indulged in various activities, legal and sometimes illegal. To cap off a night of debauchery, you want some junk food, specifically a cheeseburger. Hey, I'm not going to judge. So what do? You do what any sane person does. You go to McDonald's drive-thru and you get a $5 cheeseburger. If you're feeling a little extra indulgent, you might get a McSmart meal, a Happy Meal, whatever. What you probably wouldn't do to get a late night feed is go to 7-Eleven. However, 7-Eleven are under the impression that that's what people will do. They have started selling cheeseburgers at their shops. Now, it's an app-only price of $7. I don't know what the regular price is. I assume it's more than $7 though, but the $7 app price is ridiculous. Who on earth is paying $7 for a cheeseburger from 7-Eleven? I can see no benefit to anyone to getting a cheeseburger from 7-Eleven. It seems like a waste. The only way it would be worth it is if it's an incredibly good cheeseburger. How good can a cheeseburger get? Can it get to $7 worth of quality? I don't know. I mean, maybe at some of these fancy burger shops, you know, $7 for a cheeseburger is okay. But yeah, 7-Eleven is not somewhere you go for a gourmet experience. So I'm really curious. This does not look like a good deal. My expectations are low, but I do feel it is my duty as a journalist to find out if the $7 7-Eleven cheeseburger is any good, or indeed even if it is edible. Anyway, let's check it out. Alrighty, I am back from 7-Eleven with my $8 cheeseburger. $8 for this normally. I did pay $7 for it. It is an introductory price. $7 on the app, which already is a bit steep. But anyway, let's just give this a go. Let's keep an open mind. All right. Let's take a closer look at this. I can already smell the tomato sauce. Jeez. How do I get it out of the... all right, I'm just going to tear the plastic off. There we go. All right, so already it's tougher to get into than a McDonald's cheeseburger. There we go. That's a better look at it. Now, I do have to say, credit where credit is due. That does look okay. It does look okay. Once you've taken the plastic off, yeah, it is all right. But then, you know, that happens. That's interesting. It is rather a kind of stiff bun there. Much stiffer than, like, listen. Yeah, much stiffer than a McDonald's cheeseburger. All right, I'll just peel it off the paper there. Jeez, that's reassuring. God. Okay, there we go. Yeah. All right, so that's the cheese and the meat. Okay, and tomato sauce. Now, isn't this supposed to have pickles on it? I cannot see the pickles. I guess under that bit of cheese there is pickles. I'm guessing. Yeah, it says pickles on the wrapper there, so it should have pickles. I assume there was no human involvement in this cheeseburger. It does look very much as if it was assembled by a robot of some sort, so I doubt they would have missed the pickles. Maybe they did. Who knows? Anyway, let's just find out, what does this taste like? There's a pickle. Okay. This is the most interesting meat patty I've ever eaten. It is, yeah, oddly rubbery. I think it's been steamed. It does not taste like that has touched a grill. It is not caramelized, which is a shame. That is an underrated but important element to any hamburger, having the, you know, to make sure that the meat has undergone the Maillard reaction, or Maillard reaction, I forget how to say that. This meat has not. It is just a rubbery disc. What is happening there? So texturally, that is one odd thing happening. Yeah, just look at the texture of that meat. It is very strange meat. Like, it almost seems like that plant-based meat. There's just something a bit off about it. The cheese, yeah. Oh, wow. That is really bad by itself. That is amazing how bad that is. I'm surprised how bad that cheese is by itself. It didn't really stand out on the burger. The pickles were fine. I'll give points for that. The tomato sauce and the mustard, not the highest of quality. And the bun. Now, what has happened, because it's been in that hot box for a while, it's developed kind of a hard crust on the surface bits. And it has gone really, really soggy in the middle. So this cheeseburger is rubbery, soggy, and a bit chewy all at once. So it's not fantastic. Wow. It is amazing to think that this costs more than a McDonald's cheeseburger and is significantly worse. I can't say I'm surprised. All right, last chance at redemption. Look, I've left the center bit, which we all know is the best bit of any sandwich or burger. Yeah. That really is one of the oddest meat patties I've ever eaten. Very rubbery. Like I said, it seems to have been steamed or something. I would be really interested in a look at how this all comes together. If anyone knows anyone that works in like the 7-Eleven factory, I am deadly curious how they make this and if there are actually any humans involved in the process. My second query is who came up with this. Like, cheeseburgers are fine, and I guess even a cheeseburger from 7-Eleven, you know, they're starting to do hot food and whatnot. It's just not something that stays in a hot box and keeps very well. Like a pie, you like a good crust on the outside and a moist, soggy middle. That's great for a pie. For a cheeseburger, not so good. Not so good. And I don't know how they came up with the price point of $8. That was $8 normally. Today was $7, which even still is insane. For $3.50, that would be, you know, you'd think about that. That's cheaper than McDonald's. I don't know what the appeal is. Maybe you can get this and petrol at the same time. You can get this and, you know, Daniel's Donuts or a Russ Energy and a cheeseburger. So that kind of is one advantage if you don't want to make two stops for some reason. But, you know, McDonald's with the drive-through even, like you're barely stopping at McDonald's. There is no world in which this is easier to get than a McDonald's cheeseburger. No place, no time of day where you would really need to get this and not get a McDonald's cheeseburger. So I don't know how long this will be around. I suspect not for very long. I don't think this will be around for long. That is me making a bold prediction. They do also have an egg an egg muffin, which looks very similar to the McDonald's McMuffin. And again, same complaints apply. Maybe if you're craving a McMuffin at 11:20, then you know, after the breakfast menu, then yeah, you can get that from 7-Eleven. Although I think they're available 24 hours at McDonald's anyway, so I can't say I was disappointed because I was not expecting a lot. It met my incredibly low expectations. So do I recommend you get this? Absolutely not. Do not get this. Thumbs down. 0 out of 10. Anyway, I hope you found that informative. Yeah, in case you were on the fence about whether or not you should get it. Yeah, I hope that has answered some of your questions. Anyway, I will catch you all later. Cheers. I'd love to see a sponsored advertisement for this. I don't know how an influencer is going to, you know, promote this without sounding just slightly disingenuous, because that was really bad. That was bad.